Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. All right, wow. We got a bunch of reports overnight kind of suggesting that like a bigger announcement or a deal is imminent, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm a little skeptical after what happened yesterday, but we'll see. Let's go to the charts. You can see here in the treasuries, a little bit of a move higher. S&P 500, they're on a run, maybe on too much of a run. I don't know, man. That's a little cray-cray. Oil, well, they haven't beaten yesterday's low, but oil is getting hammered. Gold and silver on the silver. Look at that. We're gonna have another run in silver. That could be crazy. Copper's looking good. Japanese yen. So this yesterday was in fact intervention that has been confirmed. The dollar's sitting still at around 97. Maybe consolidating here. And Bitcoin coming off of its highs yesterday's. Okay, so I think we come in here. We are at the extended session first sigma. Let's clear this out. Something in Jigsaw like sets the open, but it doesn't like clear it out. The 26 half is though. Okay. Iceberging at 10 half. He's a big one. 5K. Okay, seeing iceberging like that this early, kind of interesting. I'd say good sign up, so for that it's the wrong direction. Okay, 5K. They clear it. Strong bid. I'm actually thinking we should mess with these guys over here. Okay. Hey, that was a good hit. Well, it didn't clear and move up, but that wasn't bad. Do you see that? You looking? Okay, I'm on the micros. If I try and bring the spread in, all of a sudden somebody jumps in line. I'm afraid to do it on the other side because I don't think we're going to go that direction. I mean, that's not in line with the trend, but I don't think that in this situation I want to cross the spread for spread that big though. We could try stepping it. Okay. All right. So the market makers in the micro treasury yield futures are setting a really, really wide spread. So I think that means that we alligator this. Is what we do. It's 3x3. We've already had 1,000 go off at the high, though. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody decided to put a bid right there, and it got hit almost immediately. Oh, that wasn't one of you guys messing around. So I'm going to wait for the 10-year to tick up. Okay. Okay. Look at that. Now we got a market going. Huh? Huh? It's looking good over there in the 10-year. A good take. Offers melting. Already orders hitting it. There you go. I think somebody else must be doing it with us too, huh? There you go. Yeah. Let's analyze gold. It's going up, but not as much as silver. Curious. I missed the start. What did you do? There was a really, really wide spread in the micro treasury yield futures. So I started laying down some orders so that we could get some better liquidity and so forth. So we got it to a 1-tick spread, but then that ticked up and the bids moved back down quite a bit. Personally, I'm a little bit concerned over here in the 10-year that we're going to run into a pothole. So I'm not willing to cross the spread in the micro treasury to get it, right? So I'm going to play games with my little one lot. I don't think the robot's going to hit me, though. I think there's a good uptick in the 10-year. Yeah, that's interesting. They started putting, once they started putting 2K on there, they started hitting it. Yeah, finally some real order flow action. I really think these situations in the micro treasuries where it's really, really thin and there's not a lot going on, and you can actively see the market react to your orders, it can be really instructive for people. So if I put an order, like probably if I put one there, there's a one lot at 338. If I put mine there, no, not that time. A lot of the time you will see as a shadow order show up immediately. Like there's a robot that says, oh, well, I like that idea from Seth. I'll put mine on there too. So currently, the story is, well, we've been on the uptrend, and it is because they think that we may be getting a deal. There's been some news from Iranian outlets kind of suggesting that actually, yeah, we are going to get a deal today. So that's kind of why I'm leaning long. And the order flow looks really strong on the long side too. So we've definitely got a large meta order coming out that direction. Okay, so that was a relatively significant downtick. That's going to give them the first orange candle in a while. We'll see if it holds, but that might be your first sign that, yeah, we are going to develop a liquidity hole in this area. And there has been a decent amount traded at 0.5. Although I would say that the bids and offers are still fairly strong there. They still look relatively healthy. Okay, so they're not willing to put very much on offer. But then you see the bid is still okay. Oh, thanks. Robot, let me have the front spot in line. I appreciate that. I don't think I'm going to get filled anyways, but... So what I did, I put my lot on there. There was 10. I put my lot on there. And the 10 pulled off and then put back on. Well, I will let the retail trader be in front. Oh, nope. He jumped ahead. Now that was interesting because they didn't... Well, okay. They kind of moved here before they moved over in the 10-year. Okay, by the way, on that take, immediately some hitting at 02 half. Oh, you know what? My levels here are wrong. I need to refresh. For some reason, sometimes it doesn't pull the level out. Okay, but that didn't change too much. It's still 04. Let's see here. And they were willing to sell almost 2K to offer at 02. Okay. It's still stronger, though. So now I'm the only lot there at 339. Oh. Easy autonomy. Well, there's definitely, I mean, there's somebody, liquidity providers, got like one robot over here working. And the thing is, I think we retail traders, we've kind of checked out, right? Like, we haven't been trading this that much lately. But all it takes is one person come in and start doing stuff, and it kind of will like spur activities. So that's why I kind of started coming in like, I don't know if I'm going to take a position in the micro 10-year today, just because I don't like that spread. I really don't like that spread. But we can start working it. We can start working it. Okay. I was thinking about crossing over there at 333. Somebody did. $250 margin for a ZN micro makes no sense. Is that what it is now? I thought it was 500. Okay. Now that time a lot crossed over into 332, right? Another good take. It's 200 on Iron Beam. Looking at it, I do think, well, O4 or O4 half. Probably actually O4, right? If we come in and clear this and fix it. Yeah, it's O4. But I'm already kind of getting a little bit of like drama before that. Seems fishy to me. Like, if the guy on the bid is still there, he's being very patient. Okay. Interestingly enough, in the micros there, somebody decided to put a bid, and it looks like the guy hit. They went offer at O2 half, but they didn't hit into the O2. So the chart, the price on the chart at least, still looks clean. Wow, that changes quick. It's never fun down here where in order for you to make a trade, you basically have to hit into the low of the day. I'm just noticing they're going back and forth a lot there at O2, in the 2-year rather. Blah. Oh, they filled that. Okay. So I just want to note that we got all of our levels here. Well, there's regular session plus 2 all the way up at 09 half, but there's a lot of levels in here. So there might not be a ton. I think that we should get another new high in the micros, or sorry, in the treasury. But I don't know if there's too much upside left unless we get like the headline, right? Oh, you know what? I'm just realizing I didn't even think about the initial jobless claims came in line, well, close to in line 200 versus 205. But what about continued? 1766 versus 1799. Okay, so some of those longer term unemployed are finding jobs. That's good. Now they're doing it at 02 half. What's this you're saying, 0? Yes, that's the date. The May 7th, 2026. Headline risk too high. This might work before 7 a.m. Well, yeah. I mean, there's definitely headline risk. I think that the market is kind of making a bet here that the headline risk is on the upside. But with the way that this has been going, you never know, right? Okay. So there was a good bid there at 02 half. Kind of helps. I may lose it, and eventually they get 2,000 on the offer. So something I'm watching here that we don't talk about a lot is that there are kind of like, let's come up with a name for it. There are stable numbers for bids and offers. So basically, like the more that you have on the bid or the offer, the more likely it is that some of those orders cancel. And so because of that, there kind of ends up being these numbers that are more stable than others. So you're going to see that they spend more time at certain numbers. It's usually like, you know, when they stack, you get like 2,000 is a good, healthy bid or offer, right? And if they're not able to hold 2,000, then it kind of goes down to the we're at risk, and you know they're playing around, and that they might be taken, right? So I'm kind of paying attention to, you know, are they able to build at least 2,000 contracts on the bid or the offer when they move? Because that's like the first major stable number. That's like if you got that many, they can kind of stay there. Okay, so that time they had a good stable number, and then as soon as it hit, some of those bids evaporated. then you can kind of see they're getting close to 2000 and then it doesn't quite happen. It's because that amount matters, because that's the stable number. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Almost. Almost. There we go. And then you notice that when we got 2000 there's a little click click. It was like the market maker going, oh, okay. And moving some orders. Although I don't know in which direction they moved them. Where actually are those market depth things? They are over here, and they are bids. The bids 2 ticks away. So I guess those ones at 01. So if the the pothole is at 02 half, it should be hard for them to tick into 01 half, but I don't know about that one. Well, the bids at 01 half didn't seem too concerned about that. Interestingly enough, over here in the micros, the spread just gets bigger. What just happened there? So as soon as I say that, a bunch more liquidity on the offer side in the micro 10-year shows up. I'm actually detecting a bit of a spread here. That must be why, because the 10-year, they're ticking down into 01 half, but the 30-year is not ticking down with it, not yet. That may actually be the correct play too. Like if the good news happens and the treasuries rally here, probably the long end rallies more and you get some flattening. I'm not sure I can really explain why. That's just intuitively to me, it seems, when things are going well, you flatten. Okay, didn't like that. Okay, there's 01 goes offer. So we've had like 4 ticks down, and the 30 is still basically right where it was. That's curious. I do kind of feel that, like, maybe we should really say that it was evens, but I feel like that this run really started at 01. So okay. And you are getting some negative flow in the 5-year. Okay, then that offer that was in the micro 10 disappeared now. Why are you buying? So we are expecting that there's going to be some really positive news on the war front. I don't know. I think that what's happened here is there was a buyer and they came in and they bought and they're done. Okay, see now below evens, I start to get a little bit like, okay, what's going on here? The 30-year did tick down too. So the question kind of now is, do you get another meta order come through or not? I feel like that they were willing to hit into that 01 really easily. What's with that? They're willing to put a 4K there at a 0.0. Nope. Well, so what I seem to see now is that I'm not getting the same signs of a big order. Like when they do take it tick down, it's not very many orders to do it, right? Something going on in the Japanese yen, maybe? Well, the yen is moving down with it. I'm noticing that the bids in the micro 10-year aren't really showing up. So right now is a trend line dream. Well, I really think that what happened was we had a large meta order, pushed things up, they disappeared, and then we kind of slumped back. It's just that we slumped back quite a bit more than I would expect to in that kind of situation. Like, I would have thought that, like, the 01 area would have held. Right? They fell through that a little too easily. But that may be because the Japanese yen is kind of moving down. If that's the case, if it's just the yen, though, the yen is kind of wiggling around a little bit more. So that the downside in the yen, that might be it. Like, rotating around evens, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I suppose that it has been mostly what it's doing. What? Got me a little nervous. Big iceberg there. Okay. Well, there was a lot more on that uptick. There was a lot more of those big limit orders shuffling around after that uptick. This is a little curious. Maybe just because there was a big iceberg there and they cleared it. I'm missing 300 contracts at every price in ES. I don't know. I remember when I first started trading in like 2017, the bids in ES being real thick, and it's just nowhere even close to that now. Like, I remember people saying, "Oh yeah, index futures are good to trade because they have a lot of liquidity," and I'm kind of like, about that. I'm noticing a lot more divergences between the 10-year and the 30-year today. I don't know if that's just me. So I'm not always the best at keeping an eye on all of the instruments, but I'm getting pretty hyper focused here, and I'm just kind of noticing that they're not ticking together at all, even though the spread hasn't moved that much. Since 2022, it kind of messed up also the margin and notional value. Any price over 4,000 started to be interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a really big change in the liquidity in ES after COVID, right? But then you're right, after the kind of like the inflation scare of 2022, then things really kind of changed. Okay, that was a strong bid on the uptick too. It didn't hold, but that was a strong bid following it. Well, I don't think that one held because the other two did not do it with it. I'm still unsure what we got going on here now. Could we be getting a... Well, I think it's a little bit too early to be getting a second wave. It's possible we could be getting a second wave. But what I'm seeing there does not look like market maker shenanigans. There's some real trades and volume behind that. Okay. So you can see on the downtick, not quite as dramatic. And see that bid builds up a little bit better. And they're not getting above the 2,000 that you really need, but it's a little bit better than what it was on the offer for whatever reason. Okay, there you go. See how it went from like 19 to 25? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so the bids still look better on the upticks. But there was a little bit of pushback there at 0.0 half. It's like it wants to go and somebody's stopping it. There's also a good trend forming in cumulative delta to the upside as well. Over 80% of young adults believe the economy is bad/terrible, and we're seeing the consequences all over America. I'm starting to wonder on that one if maybe it's a social media thing, because when I get on social media, most of the social media that I see is that the economy is terrible and that things are bad. But then when I go to the stores and stuff, it's like people are showing up. So where's all these people with the money? It kind of seems to me that the people with the money don't want to say anything on social media. They get attacked too much. I'm a little weirded out that I took that sim order in the 10-year, and then I tried working an order in the micro 10, And I didn't get it in the micro 10 until the 10 was until the main instrument was much higher. And yet now they're both kind of in the same place. So I think that's a good thing. I mean, it means that I got an okay position in the micros, but it's a little weird to me. Especially since the spread's only moved like 1 or 2 ticks. People with the money have them as benefits. They can't complain. Yeah, well, like if you come out and say like the economy is great, you will just get eviscerated. You really will. The people for which the economy is not working are very upset and very much have like are dominating the conversation. So I am thinking like the numbers and statistics that I have show that they are the minority. It's a larger minority than there should be, right? Like when you look at the unemployment claims, it's like 1.76 million continuing job, like people that have been out of work for like 6 months, right? So you're talking about 1.5, almost 2 million that are like actively collecting unemployment, right? And then that doesn't factor in all of the other people that are just not in the workforce at all. Like they're, well, I guess I'm still in school or living with my parents or what. Like the people that are able-bodied and could work but are not showing up in those unemployment statistics anymore, right? But even if you kind of sort that all out, that's still only like 3 to 5 million in a country of 300 million people, right? But then you've got probably like a quarter to a third of the people that are, making below, well, okay, if we say the median wage is half of them are below the median wage. Okay. Let's just go with that. So the half that are below the median wage, like there's no chance of them buying a house right now, right? No chance. And not only that, but you're renting and you're probably paying more in rent than you would pay if, like man, I was looking at some of the rents the other day, like especially if you're in big cities and stuff, like $5,000 a month in some places is like really good. Okay. And I pay less than half that for a pretty nice house. Right. So what's happening is the economy is doing pretty well, but the youth are very unhappy because they don't see any path to a home. Ergo, you're not going to get on social media and talk about how good things are going and brag or anything like that. Or maybe a more succinct way of saying it is that young people's impression of the economy is influenced much more strongly by their ability to buy a house than it is by other factors. So everything else can be okay, but then if they're not able to buy a house, they're going to be unhappy. Which is a message to the politicians. Like, I mean, I think it was the case in 2024. It will definitely be the case in 2028 that if you have solid plans to help reduce the cost of housing, you will do well politically. That includes Democrats just selling price controls and kind of nonsense solutions that probably hurt more than they help, right? But they will still do well. Ouch. So they were doing pretty good there for a second, and then it just got 2 ticks down, dash. It's gotten pretty quick. But this is around the time of the S&P 500 opens, so that's probably why you're getting a little bit more movement. And in the S&P 500, they, you know, it's honestly a little bit lackluster of a first minute so far. People with the money have them as benefits. They can't complain. So those people who receive benefits are betting on the economy to be bad if mathematically it will stop. And so, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying there. One thing that I do see happen a lot is, you know, you'll find these stories of like an immigrant or people that are literally living on welfare or have food stamps, but they're still driving like Corvettes. And that really, really upsets people. If it's that kind of the direction you were going. Okay. We don't have 8 o'clock news, do we? Construction spending. Nothing too big. 9 o'clock we get New York Fed 1-year inflation expectations. That's a relatively important number. Hey, they took 31.5 off her for a second there. I would say like earlier, there was definitely like something going on. And definitely that push that brought us up to 01, there was another kind of big buy in there. But since then, I am kind of getting the, you know, like the movement is mostly the wiggling around in the market makers shuffling. So a little nervous. The market makers are going to test the lows here. You can also kind of see the gravity is still at evens, though. Like when they tick up that bid at 31.5 builds really quickly. You say gold is going to go to 5,000. Where are they at right now? Oh, yeah, they're close. They're pretty close to that. Yeah, maybe they will. I tell you what, that silver chart was really impressive today. I was really like, Because when gold popped off, was it earlier this year? It really popped off. And I kind of felt like it was not done. You know? Like, I felt like it got cut down way premature. You know, really we're just barely getting into the mania phase. So if silver pops off again this year, it really could get manic, you know? Okay. Three by 3, but I'm still not getting a whole lot of a read in this area. have to fade gold from the stop. Who, if not us? No, I'll let somebody else fade it. Especially, man, those metals when they run, you do not want to stand in front of those. I'm trying to think. Is there an asset that, like, if it's running, it makes sense to stand in front of it? I really can't think of one where what would be the one that I would be most likely to do that in? Maybe a commodity, maybe some of the agricultural commodities. I do feel like that the treasuries have a good deal of mean reversion in them, though. Okay, Tasnim is reporting that Arachi and the Pakistanis had a phone conversation this afternoon. So if they had a phone conversation this afternoon, why are the Pakistanis not telling us what's going on? Well, that does not really sound like the positive development that we've been betting on today. So I'm starting to lose faith in the theory. There are moments in everything, but commodities are always the most mean reverting when sweeps stop and they are struggling to take asks bid after they are done. It can be a nice setup for a few ticks. Yeah. Especially if you're only trying to get a few ticks. That's for sure. For sure. Every commodity has that kind of tendency. But then I think about all the times where I see people try to fade the treasuries like that and just get destroyed. You know? The almost a deal would be whole summer. Well, yeah. So remember that the story that we started with, was it at the beginning of the week? I don't remember what day it was. That there was going to be a joint memorandum, an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. But you know, that was like the proposal, and the ball was in Iran's court, and then they were supposed to talk to Pakistan, and well, it sounds like they talked to Pakistan, but we're not getting this from Pakistan. You know, they sound really hopeful. We're hopeful that that's what Pakistan should be saying. It's not happening for some reason. So that's why I'm a little bit like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the speculative play is bad. But I'm willing to give it a little bit more. You know, they've kind of been messing with this area. It looks to me like they did a little bit of testing on the downside, but there wasn't a lot of appetite for it. Okay, well, there was an iceberg at 31.5. That's curious. They'll wait for the London close to say something. Yeah. Like long after I'm gone, probably. That's the way it always goes, isn't it? Can't do it during Speculator Seth's session. He's too good. He'll sniff it out. So we got to do it afterwards. That provides us the best opportunity to really ramp markets and get ahead of it. That's what they say. That's one that every morning on the JP Morgan desk, they're like, okay, but what is Seth doing? Got to make sure we factor that in. Okay, so they take Even's bid once more, and a healthy 2K bid shows up almost immediately. I note also those bids at 0.0 half and 0.1 don't seem to be pulling away, if any at all. And was it this thick earlier in the session? It seems really thick now. Seth is in the proper hands. Well, I don't have diamond hands when it comes to the day trades, that's for sure. Okay. Picks up again, but that time the bid, 2K bid, a little more hesitant. Yeah. I think I should recenter the 30-year right there. Nope, right there. Still, when you do that, you still get a... Seems like the 30-year has a little bit higher, but the spread only moved a few ticks. It is to the upside, though. It is to the upside, the spread. I didn't say, did I earlier I said flattener? No, I think it's a steepener. This is a steepener, doesn't that make sense, though? Does it? No. E-mini. It's been a few days since the E-mini traded this tight of an open, hasn't it? I mean, I guess it's 10 points, but still, it just looks really tight to me. Okay, attempts to take it at 31.5, but bids keep it. Actually, maybe a bit of two-way action here. It is tight, but we do have a large overnight range. It's true. look at that. Good uptick at evens again. Doesn't hold, strong downtick. Okay, something's going on here now. I think it's the 30 you're stepping up to the lows. Yeah. Oh man, that's changing really quick though. I was thinking maybe a news headline was coming through, but I don't think that that's what it was. Okay. Bouncing back and forth at 31.5 now. Not necessarily a good sign for the upside, though. You really got to get that upside to be like taking 0.0 and putting a good strong bid there before they have any chance of really pushing up much further. Well, my news squawk is saying that the S&P is briefly turned negative. So I suppose it could be a reaction to the equity indexes. You know, I do have to wonder about the equities. Like, they look so strong right now, frankly too strong, and I see a lot of dangers lurking under the surface over there. Oof. So that was a little too fast, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna puke. The movement that the S&P selling, treasuries selling, oil buying strongly suggests a headline, I think. And I mean, it did move pretty quickly there in the treasuries. So, I think all things considered, well, I don't know how you score this one. Oh, why is it like that? That's not just showing me something that I did like weeks ago. The one with the date range is all wrong. There you go. I only got 3 favorable ticks and then lost 14. But I'd say, you know, it's an okay loss. It's a standard loss. And we had it for 48 minutes. And I think we still got we might still have an opportunity to do something. But I wonder, what was it? I think that we were MAE only of like 5 up until it fell apart there, so. Now I forgot about my sim trade. Should I peek that one too? Well, they've stabilized for now. Let's put a stop order, like a stop limit out there somewhere though. Maybe it's a squeeze before the headline. I don't think that kind of thing necessarily makes sense. Like there was some definite well, it may have been an endogenous move. That's may have been me and everybody else that got long on that original thing getting squeezed out. Oops. I'm kind of seeing the possibility of an iceberg on the offer at 30. No iceberg, but let's just kind of hold tight. I think the chances that we get another headline here in the next hour are pretty high. So so let's recenter right there. I'm a little bummed that that one didn't. I'm a lot bummed that that didn't work out. Because it was looking so good at one point, right? And it just fizzled out. We did bring some liquidity into the micros, though, so there's that. I'm okay with donating 12 ticks to the cause. 14 was 14 ticks to the cause. It means that we get a better market tomorrow, which it's definitely improved during the session. Man, those treasuries are thick. Like if we really do get a big headline or it moves, it could be a monster move. It's like if all of that liquidity cancels and it goes, that would be pretty wild. Well, there's 29.5. And now they test 29. That little blip was the normal R. Oh, we got to think about getting going, but because it's a Thursday, we get to stay around for another hour. Hmm. Well, it seems like it's coming back hard. Still right about where I was when I puked. So I did save myself a little bit of downside. Okay. Yeah, the bids are looking strong again. I don't know, man. And by the way, look at the treasury. Look at the micros there. Like, yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So it's kind of curious to me. We've been down in this location for quite some time. Not very much volume in the micros. All the volume happened here at the top. Iceberg at 30.5. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it, and I still want to believe in the overall trade. Like, I don't know. For some reason, that headline that we got doesn't do it for me. I'm still thinking like we should get a good headline through today, but my traps are super sore today. Trying to stretch them. Oh, there was a 35K iceberg at 30.5. There's now 4,000 contracts on the bid. The offer's not necessarily pulling away. They have around 3,000 contracts on the offer. And there's a hit on the bid. A hit down on the bid. I don't know how to say that. Okay. 5K. He's doing this again. Uh-huh. Not necessarily seeing anything that has me like, okay, it's changing, and we're gonna have a big meta order up. But I do see the spread in the micros doing some funky things, so I can mess around with it a little bit. Oh, Vital says I was hinting you to not give up on the trade. Okay. I think in this situation, I don't feel like I really got a good one here. Really got to be in this. I'm kind of thinking more like it's time to start dipping our toes in. Did you see I canceled my order and like 4 levels canceled? I have to say, it seems like there's a decent amount of volume trading down here in the treasury and at below evens. Okay. Iceberging on the offer now, 31.5. Okay, that was a quick down tick there. This is a strong offer. E-mini is up on it near its highs now, by the way. Like they're about to maybe cross the line. Oil's coming back down. Yeah, you know what? We never got any hints, but the treasuries definitely failed there because oil was taking off, but never any hint about why. Iceberg at 31. So I'm hearing comments from Fed's Hammock, but he's not supposed to talk until much later today. He must be speaking on TV or something. Oh, Department of Justice and CFTC investigating $2.6 billion in suspicious Iran war oil trades. Who do you think it's going to be? I think my money's on Hexeth. That seems like something that Hexeth would do. Don't you think? I'm totally guessing. I bet you that it's going to be somebody that like we've never heard of before or something. The U.S. market session is a casino. You know, it does feel like that when everybody's here interacting, that you get much less directional action clear reads. Okay, Hammock is saying that the next move being a cut is misleading. Saying that the next move will be a cut, rather, is misleading. Oh, hey, they would have filled me at that 345 now. Look at that, 152. And look, the spread has come in. I don't know. Hammock's comments to me sound slightly hawkish. The market's not really reacting to him too much, are they? Ugh. I shouldn't yawn like that. It's going to make all you guys yawn. I think another problem that we got here, and I mentioned this earlier, was that, you know, we were already basically to the extended session plus 1 sigma. And then we were approaching the regular session plus 1 sigma. I felt like it kind of got cut a little bit short. Like I was just about there to be taking profits, but I wasn't really making a whole lot in the micros. And yeah, so it just didn't work out. I feel that probably we should stick around the extended session plus 1 sigma unless we really do get a headline. You know what I mean? You say Bitcoin is falling. It's sold off a little bit today, but it's not too crazy or anything. It's just a slight little pullback from where they were yesterday. Why am I yawning so hard? I exercised way too hard on Tuesday. I know we get to exercise today. Oof. Okay. That shifted things. So I heard a comment from Hammock. Lowering interest rates more than justified would push up inflation. That may be why they sold there. U.S. to sanction Iraqi official over Iran oil sales. I must not be getting enough oxygen in here. Something that's 3 yawns now. Oh. Okay, Arachi, who was in China, has returned. Did not stop by Islamabad on his way back. So I think that one is the final nail in the coffin before my, you know, to give up on the, hey, we're going to get a really big development today. I don't think it's coming. I think that the Iranians are still dragging their feet. They went and consulted with China, and China said, you should hold fast. It's hurting America. We like what's going on. Don't do anything. Maybe. But you would think that if they were about to make a deal, that they would stop at Islamabad on the way back, right? Soon markets will move from the news about what Iranian leaders are wearing today, as if we would know what they're wearing today. NQ is smashing highs, but we got icebergs in yes. And as I was writing it, we had the flush. Yeah, they got slammed. All of the markets got hit down by that news. But interestingly enough, oil did not spike on that one. You see the micros getting tight there again. Hold that right at session highs, yeah. Yeah, E-mini is back and forth today. There was a Strong downtick there in the treasuries. Should we read about the JOLTS data? With JOLTS data showing record hiring and ADP signaling acceleration in job additions, today we got some signal on firings, as the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits for the first time was at 200K last week, below the 205K expected and continuing to languish near multi-decade lows, near 1967's lowest. Non-seasonally adjusted across all states saw a 299K drop in claims, led by Rhode Island and Arizona. California and Michigan saw the biggest increases. Continuing jobs also fell, now at 1.766 million Americans receiving unemployment benefits, better than the expected 1.8 million expected, and its lowest since January 2024. Finally, we note that Challenger, Gray, and Christmas pointed out that in April, artificial intelligence led all reasons for job cuts for the second month in a row, with 21,490 announced during the month. 26% of total cuts, that's not that much. This reason has been cited for 49,135 cuts this year, and it's the third leading cause of layoff plans. Yeah, because like one company can do tens of thousands, so I don't know if that's a big deal. AI accounts for roughly 16% of all 2026 job cut plans, up from 13% through March. Technology companies continue to announce large-scale cuts and are leading all industries in layoff announcements, said Andy Challenger, the company's chief revenue officer. Regardless of whether individual jobs are being replaced by AI, the money for those roles is. Overall, Challenger, Gray, and Christmas says U.S.-based employers announced 83,000 job cuts in April, down 21% from the 105,000 job cuts announced during the same month last year. Another alternative labor market data source, Revelio Labs, shows a sizable rise in jobs this month, best since March of 2025. All adding up to a solid print for tomorrow. Taking all of that into account, it appears we have morphed into a higher, no-fire economy, but tomorrow's payroll print could throw shade on that idea. They seem to really like 31 these days, huh? 31 and 31.5.
Block sell.
Well, we haven't seen one of those today. Block sell 3,500 contracts at 30.5, crashing down. Add a strong offer along with it. Guess we're gonna try and get the child to get on the bus again today, because he won't do it for mom. But with me, it's like no big deal. When the market orders hit before the drop, I always think of a move will be coming before a drop in a song. That's funny, man. Do you ever get I forget what they call these things, but stuff where like your senses cross over, so like you see something and you kind of hear a sound, but you really didn't. I get that sort of stuff all the time, like especially when it moves. It's like all at once it was like 3K and then just down ticks, and there's a strong offer behind it, like those really strong ticks. I feel it. I hear it. It's like, whoomp. It's like there's weight to it or something. Not exactly how I'd call it, but my expectancy for other senses is shifting with that. Nope, that doesn't make any sense at all, but 30. I'm kind of wondering, even though, like, maybe there is some possibility of a positive headline here today, I think that the sellers are in control of this market. Because there's been many instances here today where the buying just kind of fizzles out and then the selling crashes in. Ouch. So now they are right on the edge of the overnight low or previous lows. The bids are getting more aggressive here in the micros, but the offers aren't being pretty lackadaisical. I kind of think that some of those should be canceled. Trump speaking at the top of the hour, really? Okay, let's go help the child. I'll be right back. Well, he wouldn't get on the bus. Yeah, it looks like we're a few ticks lower now, huh? Well, I'm a little bit about so where are we at? 435. I suppose 435 isn't that bad. It seems like whenever we get close to the 4-4 is when, you know, we get some big pushback or something. But is 435 too high? Like if everything continues on the way that it is or gets better, is 435 too high? Because I'm thinking, yeah, the rate should come down. But maybe the market is kind of saying, oh, we kind of like this price anyways. Or maybe we think that it should be a little higher anyways. Because there is just, you know, it's been mixed today, but the sellers won, I think. I think the sellers won. Glad that well, I could have gotten out of that a lot less. There was many opportunities for me to scratch that trade that I had. So I'm not gonna say that I did awesome managing it, but could have been a lot worse, right? Now, if we got down to like the 25 half area, that would make today even more interesting. I don't know if I've seen one where we reach like the +1 sigma on the regular and then the -1 sigma on the regular. Still thinking about how you get the kid to school. XAI is now SpaceX. Yeah, well, yeah. Because Elon kind of uses all of his companies with each other. It's kind of funny. Well, I do find, them punching down through 29 that the action is pretty lackluster afterwards. So I do think, like, when I come back and I look at the cumulative delta, like, I think that our read on the flows was still overall correct, right? Like, we got a buy, we got a buy there, and we got a buy there. And it's just, got countered every time. Isn't that curious? But maybe it is as simple as the buyers were on the same side as me. Oh, we think that there's going to be a positive thing. And then when it didn't happen, more and more of them gave up and yada, yada, yada. And I do think I should have, when we were up here, I should have been more anxious than I was. Because there was a volatility level like right here. So they came a little bit short of it. I'm asking ChatGPT about it, and the stuff that it's saying, it's just kind of like, I don't think this helps. Well, I'm gonna stick around until the inflation expectations at the top of the hour. All right. There's the S&P 500 going again. Inflation expectations is a relatively important number. I don't know if the treasury market's really going to react to it, but it's definitely one that I want to watch. Got 45 seconds. Okay. So it's higher than forecast, 3.64 versus 3.5. So there was a little bit of selling on that, but that's interesting. I do kind of wonder, like, if we didn't have the Iran thing going on, would we really have anything to latch onto for trade in the treasuries? That was kind of one of the bigger numbers we got there, right? And, well, okay, they sold it. 7K iceberg at 29.5. You did sell it down. Well, anyways, guys. I kind of get mixed feelings about today. I felt like we had some really good streams. Today I was much more focused on the action, but also quieter and less interesting. I don't know. I just always a little bummed when you take one trade and it's a loser, but we'll have days where we succeed too. So. And I do think that we're going to get out of this Iran thing eventually, right? Well, I don't know. If we're still in the same position next week, then I'm fed up with it. Oh, there's a good down tick. Trading better than nothing. I don't know. I mean, I could spend the time programming. I mean, I suppose I can stream while I program or vibe code, but I always kind of feel not very good when I do that too. And usually we don't do that. Usually we get talking, right? We aren't coders. We like action. I just, you know, I want to change things up, and every time that I feel like that I'm doing that, and then it kind of turns out like nothing's actually changed. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm probably just overthinking it, guys. I should get going. I will see you tomorrow. It's already Wednesday. Wow. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.